I just wrote the most important literary work of the 21st century by legally stealing an old book, and now I'm contemplating selling that book on Amazon and making millions of dollars. But before I get into what I did, we need to understand how copyright works. On a very basic level, I think we all know what a copyright is. This isn't what this video is about. A copyright is a form of intellectual property that essentially prevents people from stealing or copying works of art. But the important thing to know about copyrights is that they do not last forever. As a general rule, works created after January 1st, 1978 are copywritten for the life of the original author plus 70 years. For anonymous work posted under a pseudonym, or work made for hire, the copyright expires 90 years after first publication of the work, or 120 years after the creation of the work, whichever one occurs first. And for works of art published before January 1st, 1978, the copyright term varies depending on a variety of factors. For example, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, which was published in 1925 and signed to a 95-year copyright. So, on January 1st, 2021, that 95-year copyright expired and The Great Gatsby entered the public domain. The term public domain refers to creative works of art that aren't protected by intellectual property. The public owns them, and as such, anybody can use them without permission, and they can use them in any way, shape, or form. And from a public policy perspective, the public domain makes sense. After all, we do want to incentivize people to create new and unique works and capitalize off of those works, but we don't want them to be able to hold on to these inventions forever, certainly hundreds of years or after they're long gone. There is a public utility in having access to works of art, inventions, things that can help society. And essentially, the point of intellectual property is to protect these assets for a certain period of time so the inventor of said assets can capitalize on the rewards. So hear me out. I have taken The Great Gatsby and I have modified it to The Great Gatsby. But Gatsby got all of his money from a personal injury settlement because he hired Attorney Tom. Okay. And he gets together with Daisy. Okay, and he got Daisy at the end because that's what my girlfriend wants. And presumably once enough time has passed, boom, everybody can have it. Let me just set the stage and give you a couple examples of paragraphs in my literary masterpiece. First chapter, when Nick is first seeing Gatsby's home. The one on my right was a colossal affair by any standard. It was a factual imitation of some Hotel de Ville in Normandy, with a tower on one side, spanking new under a thin beard of raw ivy, and a marble swimming pool, and more than 40 acres of lawn and garden. It was Gatsby's mansion. I didn't know Mr. Gatsby, but I heard Attorney Tom got him a huge personal injury settlement. That is how he funded the house. It was a mansion inhabited by a gentleman of the name Gatsby. My own house was an eyesore, but it was a small eyesore. It's been overlooked, so I had a view of the water and a partial view of my neighbor's lawn, and the consoling proximity of millionaires, all for $80 a month. Now let's jump to the scene with Gatsby's clothes. I've got a man in England who buys my clothes. He sends me over a selection of things at the beginning of each season, spring and fall. It's expensive, but Attorney Tom got me a huge personal injury settlement, so I don't care. That's actually a great question, and we need to put this in.
Yeah.
My girlfriend who's over here asked me if we put scenes from the movie in here, is that copywritten? And the answer to that is yes. The copyright for the movie, while the story is public domain, the adaptations of it or the movies of it would not be public domain. There you go. We're learning. We're learning more. Okay, now let's fast forward to when Tom Buchanan is confronting Gatsby about his wealth. "Who are you anyhow?" broke out Tom. You're one of the bunch that hangs around Attorney Tom. That much I happen to know. I've made a little investigation into your affairs and I'll carry it further tomorrow. You can suit yourself about that, old sport, said Gatsby steadily. I found out what your settlement was. He turned to us and spoke rapidly. He got injured on a construction site and sued. Attorney Tom got him a pile of money. I picked him for a personal injury settlement recipient the first time I saw him, and I wasn't far wrong. Okay, so there you go. The Great Gatsby, but Gatsby got his money from a personal injury settlement because he hired Attorney Tom, and he ends up with Daisy. The greatest literary work of the 21st century, all because The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald has put in the public domain. Now it's time to capitalize on this. If this video gets 69,000 likes, I will literally upload this ebook to Amazon and sell it for profit. And yeah, there's some competition out there, like The Great Gatsby, but Nick has a mild case of scoliosis, but I think we can be the Amazon bestseller version of Gatsby. And hey, if you want to create your own version of The Great Gatsby, you're free to do so as well. Let me know in the comments below what the title of your book would be. Brownie points for creativity. All right, y'all, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was a fun way to learn about copyright in the public domain. We're growing like crazy. I think we just passed 290,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing to this channel if you want to join this community. We're having a lot of fun, and I always hope to make content worthy of your time. Thank you so much. Talk to y'all later. Bye.